Hey Raiders, welcome back to another live arena battle video. This video will feature 6 fights and 4 wins. So I start off with a platinum finisher, Mr. Flood. So I pick first and I go Ultimate Death Knight and he follows with speed. This could be a bomb team, this could be a traditional speed team. I'll finish off my support and go Ultimate Death Knight and Duchess. So he's going to go Wukong, a damage Wukong, along with Rhodos. I'll follow with my damagers. I'll go with Errol, who's in Stone Skin, and I'll go my +4 Staltus. If life hands you 5 Staltuses, you make a +4 and use it in live arena. I've been hesitant to use Staltus, but I'll show the build at the end. So they finish with Yumiko, and I ban her. They ban the Ultimate Death Knight, so Rhodos can hit through. So we'll get started here. Obviously, their speed, they'll go. Kymar is able to sleep the Staltus, but not strip either the Duchess or the Errol. However, the Wukong is able to sheep the Errol. So they are significantly faster than me. I'll go ahead and put Ally Protection on the Staltus, but they do look fairly squishy. So if I can break through, so Errol's dead now, so he was able to de-sheep and then Wukong killed him. Now Wukong, that was a big hit from Rhodos, but he wasn't able to finish me off. And now I got a good hit from Staltus, finally broke through, and he'll leave the battle. So he relied on being fast and circling around me, and I was able to catch up and get a good hit in. So then I pick up Martinak, and he's going to pick first, and he's going to go with Sifi. I'll go Ultimate Death Knight and Duchess. I often think I don't need to go Duchess immediately after someone picks Sifi because they're not going to go Duchess Sifi, and then that's when they do it. So he's going to go both of his damagers next, which is Wukong and Rhonda. I'm going to go with Warlord here, and then Xena to counter the Sifi. See who he goes with for his other 2 support. I'm not too worried about the Rhonda. Usually people use Rhonda against me to counter Wukong. So he's going to go with Ramontu and Mithrala. So I'm going to go with my Stone Skin in Nithway and see how that goes. So he's going to ban my Warlord, and we'll get into this. I banned his Ramontu because I thought he might leave my Warlord in there, and I didn't want Ramontu to block his passive skills. So he uses his CP buff, and I'm able to take out with Xena, his 2 damagers. And then I'll get around to Nithway and block Revive on the 2 that matter, and then take out his Mithrala with my Xena. So that was a fairly quick and easy fight. And we'll move on to the next one. And I get Pat Charismarin, kind of an odd name, but also someone who has finished Platinum. I go first and I pick Ultimate Death Knight. He doesn't care, he's going to go Rhodos, and he's also going to go Taurus. So, what I've noticed about Taurus Marichka teams is that they very rarely go either Taurus or Marichka to start off. It's almost always Sifi. So I'm going to go Duchess and Staltus. I'm trying to force myself to use this +4 Staltus because, well, I've got him pretty well built, and he is a +4. But I have to use him with Duchess because I don't want to have to kill through Duchess. So I know I want to use Tormund here because he's going speed, and Tormund's great against Wukong too. So I'm going to also add in Warlord. So if he bans my Warlord, then he has to deal with the Tormund. So I was looking at this like, whoever he goes with 5th, I can probably ban. Arbice, I think she can be annoying, so if he speed boosts into her, then I could have a problem. So I just ban Arbice. And now it's up to whether or not I can go the 50-50, and I win the 50-50 off the fear. I'll start off with the big hit, the buff hit, and trigger the Warlord, or trigger the Rhodos, but plenty of ticks of Stone Skin, so I wasn't worried about triggering that. They are all on cooldown. They've lost their Reviver. So not worried about this team. I've also added a little bit of damage to my Ultimate Death Knight. Unfortunately, I added just a little bit of speed too. So I killed Wukong, but he'll be back. I killed Rhodos, he won't be back. Worried about this Taurus right here. So I'm able to get the Taurus taken care of, and now it's just about getting Wukong, put him back on cooldown, and this one is over. Pat Chris Marin. Okay. I got that one wrong. There was no charisma in there. Sometimes I don't see the screen as well after I've recorded it. So I get someone from Ung. They're usually pretty good, but he's also at the very bottom. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's from one of their lesser clans. I go first, so I get Ultimate Death Knight, and he picks Duchess and Harima. I didn't used to be too worried about them when I used my Sifi Warlord base team, but now that I've based my teams off of Ultimate Death Knight and getting Duchess, it's kind of frustrating when they get Duchess and add it to Harima. Because with Sifi Warlord, I did fine. But it's also hard for me to add Warlord when I have Ultimate Death Knight. I guess maybe it's not that bad, but... So he goes Warlord, and he goes Rhodos. I'll go the +4 Staltus. I kind of wish that I'd had that back and gone Warlord myself, so that he didn't have him. And then I'm going to go with Goffred. So the Goffred is double insurance in case he bans the Ultimate Death Knight. So he's going to ban my +4 Staltus, I'm going to ban his Warlord, and he's going to go with Ally Attack and Revive on Death. So we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go first, checking for Sheep, and Harima has a pretty high level of it. Thinking about the strip, but instead I just A1 and stun the Harima. So he's going to cleanse the stun, which is what I was kind of hoping he'd do. This fight is actually going to drag on for quite a while. I never really got control of this fight like I was kind of hoping I would. So I sheep the Harima, because I figure it's going to be a little while until I get back around and I can actually start maybe trying to take out the Duchess. So Rhodos goes, but have no fear, Ultimate Death Knight still has plenty of Stone Skin. Ultimate Death Knight, I built him with a decent amount of crit damage and with 100% crit rate, sacrificing some HP, and I still have just enough accuracy to debuff the damagers. Probably never get through on a Duchess or a Sifi or a Cardiel or something like that, but it is enough for, say, Rhodos and Harima. Which means it's probably also enough for me to get sheeped. But I built also a little bit of resistance in there too. So they're working on my Sifi, but they still, as far as I can tell, they have not triggered Goffred's passive, which is really strange. Because we're almost 4 minutes into this fight, and they haven't triggered his passive. Unless I missed it somehow. So, Rhodos is back. All the revives is what really hurt me here. They take out my Ultimate Death Knight. I'm going to stun the Rhodos with Goffred. Debating whether to bring back the Ultimate Death Knight, and I do. Take out the Harima and the Rhodos again. The Harima pops back up. I mean, I feel like I'm just out of reach from being able to take control of this fight. I mean, this fight was pretty evenly matched. He is going to eventually finish me off. I'll spoiler that one. It's just the revive on deaths and not being able to get through on Duchess took its toll. And eventually Rhodos is going to go off. If you get to the loop of he takes out your Ultimate Death Knight, you revive him, he's going to keep taking out your Ultimate Death Knight. So I'll kill the Rhodos again, he pops back up. Harima was slept. Try and do Staff of Wonder on Duchess, but she wasn't budging. Yeah, I wasn't quite in sync with this team versus their team, and there goes the triggering the Goffred passive. Almost 7 minutes into the fight, he triggers the Goffred passive, and then he's able to take out Sifi, take out Ultimate Death Knight. It's up to whether I can strip everybody and kill the Duchess, and I could not. It was close. Like, I got that close. Had I been able to take out the Duchess on that last one, might have won. But Duchess is going to revive here. Wukong is going to come back, but I don't have enough here. So that was such a close fight. Just not quite enough. Harima's going to take us out, and we're done. So, pretty tough fight there. So for the next fight, I get a name I can't pronounce. I go UDK first, and they go Wukong and Duchess. So at this point, my strategy is basically don't worry about the Wukong. If they leave the Wukong and I have him around my 4th pick, I might go with him. But he is not among the first that I want. So I'm going to go Warlord and Ramontu. Ramontu is going to appear to be maybe a hybrid, but I'm expecting them to think he's a support. And then I have the flexibility of doing another support. So they're going to go Eric's and Cardiel and Duchess for their support. Well, those two for the support. Eric's is obviously a damager, and usually I do have trouble with Eric's. It doesn't matter if he's awakened or not. I'm going to go Sifi as my next support, and I'm going to go Errol. So I have 2 Stone Skin damagers, and he's going to go Magnar. So I'm going to ban the Wukong. Magnar I always kind of dismiss, but he's actually going to be my undoing in this. So I get through, I'm able to put them on cooldown. The Eric's resisted, and I really don't believe the Eric's had the resistance. That was probably a 3%. The Duchess probably had the resistance. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to kill the Eric's, and then double hit kill the Cardiel, and they're going to get brought back. But I don't have enough to be able to take this team out. I can kill one here, and it's going to be the Cardiel, and that's it. Maybe it should have been the Magnar. Not able to A1 kill the Eric's, and he finishes me off. So then I get Belzenon, and I'm looking at that one like, is that a bot? Pretty sure it's not a bot, though. So I go first and pick UDK. Mixing Wukong and UDK together. So he's going to go speed with Arbiter and Wukong as I continue to confuse their names. I'm going to go Duchess, and I'm going to go Ramontu again. I want to be confusing. Is this a support Ramontu? Because he's almost always support. They're going to go with Warlord, and they're going to go with Georgid. So I'm going to go Goffred and Staltus, and they're going to go Kymar. I'm going to ban the Warlord, and they're going to ban the Goffred, and that's how you win this fight. Basically, that's a squishy team, and if they don't ban the Goffred, it's almost an automatic win for me. But they banned the Goffred, they knew what they were doing. So Kymar is able to strip sleep Duchess and sleep Staltus, and I'm in kind of a bad spot. But I do almost have Staltus up, and he's going to hit hard. So he can't kill my Staltus. I'm able to do the stun and get Georgid stunned, Arbiter stunned. Kymar's dead. I'm going to bring back Ramontu, don't know if it'll matter. Finish off the Arbiter, and now it's just down to whether I can finish off Wukong, and it looks like I probably can. Yeah, he's gone. So 4 and 2 on the day, and I'm going to wrap it up at this. I'm not going to keep going. But I'm going to show some builds here, so we'll start with Staltus. Staltus is +4. So I had 4 Staltuses, and in the recent +1 event, I got my 5th Bad L and my 5th Staltus. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and empower him to +4. So I do it. I build him up, build him in lethal. I still have some work to do on the gear ascensions, but I'm getting there. So he's right now almost 7,500 defense, 51,000 HP, 229 speed, and 286 crit damage. I'm hoping I can get that defense closer to 8,000. But he is very tough to kill. He's not quite Taurus tough to kill, though. I went with the speed set because I did want some speed on him. So let's look at UDK. Basically, he's still really slow, a little faster than I wanted him to be. He has 194 crit damage, and his crit rate is at 100, and he has 5,300 defense. So he's going to do some damage. He isn't double stone skin, so he's not ignoring any defense, but he is going to do some damage. And that's what I really wanted from him. I'm still running support and defense masteries, though. so he works out okay. His HP is a little bit low. In any case, hope you enjoyed the video, and take care.